How are you two on Underworld? I'm Travis Smoker, and then my guest.
Hello, I'm Sean.
Yep, and we're talking about the Underworld franchise. Since we mentioned that movie on our last podcast, well, technically a pocket podcast, I decided to do the Underworld movie discussion.
You decided? I think
It's
it was more
my idea.
just
Fine. It both of our idea.
that works.
It's both idea. Um.
I say, how dare you steal my idea?
Well, I think about it. Anyway, so where should we start?
Well, technically, shouldn't we start at the beginning?
Yeah, we'll start at the beginning. Like the first Underworld movie. We start with the film history first because I don't know about the film history of the movies.
All right, let me look it up.
But I should have prepared for this.
You think?
Sorry.
Basically, all I know is that Len Wiseman was a first-time director, and I guess wanted to do something different, so he went to the studios and had this pitch that in the original script apparently included all the material from the first two movies, but the script was way too big, and so it was divided into two movies, which became the first two films. And
Yep.
then after that, they decided to do Rise of the Lycans because they had pretty much ended Celine's story arc, not to mention killed off all their characters, and they ran out of ideas, so they decided to do the prequel by expanding the flashbacks of the first movie.
Which is a good thing, in my opinion.
Yes. And then after that, Len was like, okay, that's the end of the trilogy because that's how I originally mapped it out. But then they went and said, oh wait, we want to bring Kate back, but let's do another movie with an interesting plot point, with an interesting storyline that has to use a natural continuation. But wait, we only want to do that in 7 minutes. But wait, what can we do after the 7 minutes? Oh, right, I got it. A generic action movie.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah,
We'll talk about waiting about it later. So that's the film history behind the first film
pretty much.
and all the other films, which we'll talk about those later.
Mm. Pretty much
Pretty
every
much
film
that's it.
series has gotten a negative review. God.
Wait, what?
Every film in this franchise has a negative reception.
Yeah, I don't know why. That's bullshit. We could move to fun. Like, what do these critics want? Oh, I live with Oscar bait. There's
Yeah,
some movies that they're not supposed to serious to have fun with.
I know, right?
Like, like
I
Diddy.
know. I know one movie that got the Oscars that shouldn't have gotten it.
Yeah.
Slumdog Millionaire.
Oh yeah. Like Diddy. They said yes. Anyways,
If you want to know why, please
why?
watch Day's review and he will break it down for you.
From S. Adam. Yeah, I
Yeah,
seen the review of that.
yeah.
Anyways,
It's gang
anyway,
rape, prostitution, forced marriages. Yes, doesn't that all sound feel good to you?
not really.
Ooh,
Since it's more like opposite.
exactly. But anyway,
Which
Underworld
that's
series.
the Oscars.
Yes, they have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah, they don't.
So Underworld.
Yep,
Yeah.
the first movie. Okay. Underworld one. When I first saw the movie, I didn't see it in theater because because I wasn't old enough to see them. I did see them on TV, and I didn't fell over the foot. Underworld one. I really one of my favorite movie of that series because it basically not the origin story, but it basically takes place in a world where vampire and legends exist, and they're in a war to kill each other called depth dealers. Serene, our main protagonist, these go on my memory. Leave my memory. I'm not reading anything from any documents, nothing. Um, Basically, Serene John is a depth dealer who has to kill the dragons, well, because she believes he'll get revenge from her family. That's part of the backstory. I'm going by memory. Sean, you take over because been a while since these movies. John, hello, flip. Sorry, but we're in technical difficulties. Hang on a sec. Fucking Google Plus.
Yeah, we'll just have to make do though. It's fine.
Yeah. Anyway,
Anyway,
Sean, you explain the plot because being honest, since some of the movies.
okay. So the plot of this movie is that years ago, Celine was lost her family due to, as she assumes, the Lycans.
Yep.
Although, in the course of the movie, we find out differently.
Yep.
But Victor, I guess not really the oldest vampire, but the vampire elder, played brilliantly
One
by
of my
Bill
others.
Nye. Awesome performance, I may say.
Yep.
He finds Celine, turns her into a vampire due to the resemblance she has to his daughter. 600 years later, she is a death dealer who is basically killing the Lycans, not only because it's her duty, but also for revenge. And
Yep.
she comes across this human that the Lycans want, named Michael Corbin, played by Scott Beeman, only in the first two movies, for reasons I will never understand. But anyway, so yeah, basically the Lycans want this human because he has a certain DNA that will probably turn them into hybrids, so they can
Hybrid.
overthrow the vampires, and et cetera, et cetera. And then through the mess, Selene and Michael end up falling in love with each other, and they basically kill the vampire elders. And all the
Well,
vampire elders
that's
are dead.
part of it. There's actually more to it than that, but anyway, that's to be part of it.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Although
Okay.
this first movie does end kind of on a cliffhanger, leading into
Yeah, it does, but it has to make sense.
We'll talk about that after we finish the first movie.
Yep. When I first saw the movie on TV, I instantly because I threw up the concept of the vampire and werewolf had to kill each other. Because
Yeah.
think about it. No other franchise, no one ever thought about this idea like before until Underworld came out. A lot of people assume that vampire and werewolf can't fight each other because they'll be just stupid. Turns out they were wrong. It was awesome, and the concept would badass. And actually, from what I heard, apparently a lot of controversy was in the first film with the whole right rights issues. You get quotation marks. But yeah, apparently another thing that Underworld, the title on it, I don't know what it was. I think it's a comic series. I think,
Yeah.
and apparently they got sued.
Uh,
Well, not the comic. The comic didn't sue. The comic company didn't sue. The movie didn't sue them. The comic company sued the movie itself. With the first movie, it's weird. It's a legal issue. That's a different topic another day. Like that's all the legal bullshit, which is confusing.
basically mumbo jumbo.
Sort of. Yeah. It's not about the movie itself. It's more like rights issues, which we could do another discussion on that someday. Anyway, back to Underworld. Why first time when team I need to because think about it. No one had followed the idea of werewolf against vampire werewolves until that movie came out, and people loved it. I don't know what the creators smoking. The creators, my parents, is idiots. Right, Didi? What, Sean? What's
Yep.
your opinion?
Whoever said this movie was horrible must be smoking a lot of dope.
Yep. Hi, Cameron. My Phil. All right. Spy, calm down. Anyway, I agree because these movies are fun. They're not supposed to be taken seriously. Or did that cheesy? Of course it is, but you know what? It's vampire with werewolves. What do people want? Fuck the critics.
I sent you something.
What's your son?
Says while the film and its sequels opened to mixed reviews, they have developed somewhat of a cult following, as the films of their kind are seldom so ambitious.
Sourdough, I don't know what that means. Ambitious, I know what that means. Doesn't take a chance.
In short, even though the film is open to mixed to negative reviews, they have been regarded as classics, basically.
Agreed.
Especially the first movie, I think.
Yeah, the first movie is a classic because it actually I mean, hmm, found a definition it, on only a few occasions, really, in frequently and often. So that's the sentiment means. Interesting. Yeah, basically, these movies I have a cult following, and I don't want to be able to support these movies.
So do I.
I support them, and because I love the concept, and I love the story with Celine at the end, Michael. But Celine might the badass in my opinion. She's awesome, but she's not a true mental character. Unlike
Nope.
some other movie I know, Twilight, garbage. Like these vampires, kick ass, and they know and you have the monsters. That's the point. But since I know these movies had a stars, that more horror based.
Yes.
People keep forgetting that vampires will be monsters. They're not supposed to be labeled, but at the same time, this movie tried to do something different.
Yes.
But they still get to keep the mythology intact. One, vampires can't go on sunlight. That's why they're at night. Two, my man, it's kind of like a blade, sort of.
Yep.
And three, most of all, werewolves are liking the known. They do. They take that mythology, but they expand upon it in their own mythology. Like they actually explain down the Lycan's origin as well, with the first Lycan, which were
Yeah.
in the second movie, with the active foreshadowing in the first movie.
Technically, the first real Lycan was Lucian.
Yeah, Lucian. The
William
first
was just the first werewolf.
yeah, the first werewolf in general would actually Marcus's brother.
I just said that.
Oh, wait, you said Lucian.
No, Lucian was the first Lycan. First werewolf was William.
Oh, William. Gotcha. My
That's what
bad.
I said.
Sorry, I got that mixed up.
That's cool.
Anyways, oh yeah, I forgot. Lucian actually was introduced in this movie, and he would actually you think he's the antagonist.
Oh, and you want to hear something funny?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm not sure if you know this, but apparently Michael Sheen and Kate Beckinsale were dating at the time this movie was being filmed, right? Which
Yeah.
is which is how they have that little girl that appears as young Celine in the second movie. But it was actually because of Kate Beckinsale that Michael Sheen got the role of Lucian.
Awesome.
So yeah, he pretty much has her to thank for his career. Not
Yay.
to mention his daughter.
Yep.
So yeah, I thought that was funny. I thought.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. How ironic.
Yep.
Anyways,
I can imagine how the household must be when that little girl were to say "Daddy." Both Len and Michael would both say yes at the same time. We both acknowledge her.
yep.
That would be funny.
Yeah, that'd be funny. Anyways, what type of protagonists like for me? What type of Serene and Michael?
Yeah.
Kate Beckinsale Serene, in my opinion, is actually one of the best things in the franchise because she's awesome. She kicks ass. She takes no shit from anyone. Part of mine, when she goes to get orders, she does it at the free will.
And she's actually justified in going against orders.
Yeah, with the good thing. I want some other protagonists who are true dimensional and just I am for orders because of reasons. Like some other games I know. Ugh. Black Ops 3 doesn't make no sense. Anyway, that's the topic.
What was it?
Black Ops 3, and that's stupid ending.
Video game.
Yeah. Long story. It seemed like by far last year in that game, I was pissed with that ending.
I see.
Yeah, it was bad.
I see.
But that's a different topic. That game should play in sci-fi. This is more action horror, so that's science fiction.
Yeah.
Sort of. Eddie, come on.
And I actually have the extended cut to the first movie.
Oh yeah, I seen the extended cut. At least I think I did. Yeah, I seen it. Cool.
I've actually never seen the theatrical version of this movie.
I seen the other way on TV, but they got a lot of a curse word because well, with TV there's some stuff.
Yeah,
But
and
you
I'm
know
pretty sure
what?
bloodshed
I
was
I, I
over.
just see the full R-rated cut. Anyways, like I still love it for Underworld. And what type of Michael?
Yes, he's basically a he's not really a nurse, but he's kind of a like a student doctor kind of person.
Yeah, student medical doctor.
Yeah, he's like an intern, basically, what they say.
Yeah, and
Yeah, and his backstory is basically he used to grow up where the movie takes place, but then moved away when he got married. His wife died in a car accident or something, and so he moved back to kind of bury the pain, and that's when he became the intern, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
yeah, now in the backstory with them, but
Pretty
still
much.
good character in my opinion.
Yeah.
We don't get more personality into the second movie, which might be way more interesting. First movie at the I think I think he's with two dimensional. I think maybe he's a good character, but I think at the second movie he gets more an upgrade role, which I liked. First
What?
maybe yeah
Yeah, because he's actually in, I think, more of the plot in the second one.
yeah. First movie he's okay.
Yeah,
He's not a bad character. Like I
there.
seen worse male protagonists who are second characters.
If anything,
Case in
he's more of
point,
a MacGuffin in the first movie.
yeah,
In the second one, he's more of an actual character.
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's more of a, like a MacGuffin and a plot device.
Yeah,
But I still like Scott Speedman in these movies.
yeah,
He's on.
yeah. I still like him too. That's Peggy.
Wish he would have been in this movie.
Same here. Because I remind you he was saved that movie, which we'll get to that. We'll get to that train wreck later. Anyway, we talk about our protagonists. We're talking about our antagonists, Craven and
Victor
Victor
and Lucian.
and
Even
Lucian.
I mean, technically, he's not really the antagonist, but he kind of is.
But yeah,
So,
when you first see him, what you think he's antagonist?
yeah. Basically, what happened, and this movie will confirm my thoughts. What I'm saying is, all right, is that 600 years ago or so, um, the Lycans were once slaves to the vampires. They rebelled and started an all-out war after the death of Victor's daughter, who
Yep,
Lucian was deeply in love with.
yep,
And that's even expanded upon in this movie, which we will get to later.
yep.
So basically, what it is the war has been going on for 600 years, and the Lycans are trying to find a way to overthrow the vampires completely and kill them. So Lucian makes a deal with Craven, who, for stupid reasons, Victor put in charge of the coven. Kind of wish he would have put Celine in charge, but it's Victor.
Well,
You don't
Lucy
make.
didn't know any of us, Dwayne. He only know about Craven and Victor.
Also, wish Craven would have put Celine in charge of the coven.
Well, Craven didn't know Celine.
Okay, let me. I said Victor put Celine in charge.
Gotcha.
If it came out wrong, I sorry though. But yeah,
Yeah.
basically, Craven and Lucian put together a deal to overthrow Victor and unite both covens with apparently an ironclad peace treaty. Yada yada yada.
Yep.
But yeah, the plan fails obviously because Victor finds out about the whole thing due to Celine's genetic memories after being revived by her, and
Oh,
basically,
actually, Victor want proof before he go against Marcus. I mean Craven.
yeah. And then Celine collects said proof by bringing in the Lycan doctor.
Yep.
And then after he finds that Amelia's been murdered by the Lycans,
Yep.
friggin' Victor sucker punched the doctor and kills him in one blow.
Yep.
And that's how Marcus is revived, but
Well,
we'll get to him.
actually, before Victor killed him, I completely forgot the doctor might have explained the hybrid.
Yeah,
Plan.
half vampire, half Lycan, but stronger than both.
Yeah. Vampire, half Lycan, stronger than both. And Victor think the hybrid is the abomination.
Yeah, mainly because his grandchild was about to be one.
Yep. Which we'll get to that later.
Yes. So yeah, Victor basically takes the Lycan Doctor out with one punch, kills him, and that's pretty much what revives Marcus. But we'll get to that in a second.
Yep.
So yeah, pretty much everything's wrapped up in this movie. Craven pretty much gets away, sort of.
Yeah.
Victor's killed off. Um, Lucian's killed off too, and then
Yeah.
Michael.
After Craven shoots them.
Yeah, and then Michael and Selene are pretty much fugitives in a way because they killed Victor, and they pretty much know the rest of the Covenant is probably going to come after them because of it.
Yep.
So overall thoughts on the first movie?
I love this movie. This movie, in my opinion, actually, is a great concept. It paid off. Great style. Great story. Well, it's not a great story. It's more of a good story. Like, but you know what? Screw it. I'm going to great because the concept it paid off. But it's a good art style, a great story, good characters, and overall a good movie. And thank God the movie had to make money because it paid off. And that's the cult following like me and you.
I agree. The story was
Yeah.
great. The mythology was was very well told and laid out for the rest of the films.
Yep.
The characters I thought were awesome. Um, although for like the vast majority of the movie, I always thought Craven was the villain.
That's
Just
all.
because he was always such an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
Weird, but now I know differently.
Yep. And
But
but Craven movie that made sense because he wanted to kill Victor, but then he had own plans.
he was basically corrupt by power,
Yeah.
basically. So yeah, fun movie. Really enjoy it. I'd give it a thumbs up.
Same here. Oh yeah, one more day I do want to like Michael transferring to the
I,
hybrid.
yeah, basically Victor wanted to kill Michael because he was a Lycan, and then basically
After
what happened
Lucian
was
bit him.
yeah, after Selene bit him,
No, well Lucian bit him first, and then
yeah, Lucian bit him first, and then Selene bit him. Uh, then Victor found out that Michael was a Lycan, wanted to kill him, and then eventually Michael turned into a full hybrid, and then
after Sweeney finds out the truth from after
finally
Craven.
basically handed Victor his ass.
Yep. Well, after Sweeney finds the truth from Craven tells him the truth. Tells her the truth.
But here's what I never understood though: is when Michael first turns into a hybrid, why does he turn into a full Lycan first, and then the transformation starts to decrease into Lycan form or hybrid form? That's what I never understood. But just a small nitpick with the movie. It doesn't hurt the movie though.
Yeah. I have no idea.
I never understood though.
I die. And for for didn't 2002 movie came out? What year did the first movie come out?
2003.
Yeah, 2003 film. It still holds up.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
there's some obvious CGI, but you know what? Screw it. I didn't care about the CGI. It can be particle and CGI, but sometimes you have to do both. You can't.
yeah.
We want over the air. That's why,
Especially we'll get to that later.
yeah, like that's why I like this movie in general because they particle effect and CGI. Like it's a combination of both.
Yep.
Like yeah, the CGI may not age well, but you know what? Screw it. At this point in time, it's not everything needs to be like perfect and shiny, like you know that bullshit. No, you
Yeah.
need good particle effect, and you need a good script, and good writing, and good story. And sometimes you need CGI and particle effect to work. You can't have it both ways.
Yeah, and like I said in our disappointing movies video, I love the sets and the atmosphere that this movie creates.
Same here.
It's great design, and it doesn't look like they're shot on in a normal city like this turd.
Which we'll get that later.
Fuck that movie. And I think I
Yeah,
broke my phone by throwing that down. But
damn.
yeah, I really like the sets. Great atmosphere. The set designs were awesome. They don't look
Yeah,
like that would be normal on Earth or whatnot.
yep,
I mean, yeah, they're obviously on Earth, but you know what I mean by that.
yep,
They just look like otherworldly, basically.
yep.
And I thought that was really awesome to do.
And this movie also puts the doors to other adaptations of this type of genre. Action fantasy shot. No, not action horror. Sort of.
Would we be talking about Resident Evil?
Kind of, yeah, but that when my mate with a great video game friend, with the movie itself, it's 50-50.
You're not the only one that hates that franchise, and I don't
Yeah.
mean me. I've never seen any of those movies.
I go, I love the game. The games are made, but the CGI
Yeah, but I've never seen
movies
the
are
movies though.
perfect. Which
I've never seen the Resident Evil films.
I have. Like first movie I liked, second film after it was okay. First movie on P, I liked it. I just saw it with my dad, and I liked it. Fourth movie is Reno and Dano. Fifth movie bad. Second movie I just saw on TV. I know he hates it. Wait, which series? The game of the movies?
Movies.
Live action movies. That's understandable.
Yep. All right. So Underworld Evolution.
Yeah, yeah. Let's get on with Illusion.
Okay. Before we get to the present day plot of the movie, this opens with an 8-minute prologue which establishes basically the origin of the Elders and Victor or William's initial capture.
Yep.
So, what did you think of that opening?
I like that opening. It's actually very cool that they did that because it actually explained how the elders like actually they fought the real werewolves, what show werewolves in general like first
Basically,
turn.
yeah. Basically, the main backstory is that in this village there was this little boy named Alexander Corvinus who was, in his whole village was infected by this virus. Yet somehow Corvinus was able to survive this said virus or this plague because of this virus. And when he got older, he passed down this gene to his 3 sons, Michael, or no, not Michael, but Marcus, William, and a third unnamed child,
Which we don't know.
which is how Michael, I guess, existed. I guess.
Probably.
Anyway, Marcus was bitten by a bat. William by a werewolf. They became the first
Well by
vampire
wolf. Not werewolf. Wolf.
ever. Trying to
Sorry.
make a point. Okay, William was bit by wolf. Marcus was bit by bat and became the first vampire and werewolf. And then eventually the werewolf. And then what happened was Victor was lying on his deathbed, and then Marcus offered him what Janice calls a reprieve from sickness and death. In exchange, he turned Victor in his village into vampires in exchange for helping him bring down William. And so that leads us pretty much to the opening scene of the movie, where they find William and capture him and put him in prison for all time. Why
Yep.
don't they kill him, you ask? Because Marcus states that should either he or William be killed, all the Lycans and vampires would die off. Now, is this true? No.
Nope.
Something that Marcus said to Victor so that William cannot be killed.
Yep.
And for some other explanatory reasons, people actually thought that was true, which is why they complained about Celine being a daywalker in this movie,
Yep.
which again we will get to then.
Which we'll get to that like eventually.
Everybody who have ever seen these movies, the whole thing about the Lycan and the Victor and that should Marcus and William be killed, all the vampires and Lycans will die off. That is a lie. That is not true. That is some bullshit that Marcus fed to Victor so that William could not be killed. The
Yep.
whole reason Selena's a daywalker in this was because she bit Corvinus's arm and became what Corvinus calls
The
the
future.
future. So does that solve your little problem? Thank you. Now please go bitch about something else. I'm done with my little tyrant.
Anyways,
Yes. So yeah, we get to the beginning of the movie where they capture William and put him.
well, actually, they show Sorry.
Yeah, let me finish. So yeah, they get to the beginning where they capture William and put him in prison for all time. Then we show a recap of the first movie, and then after the narrated by Kate Beckinsale. Then after we get to where the first movie, like immediately before the first movie ended, where Selena and Michael are on the run trying to find a safe house so they can arm up and go back to the mansion and free Marcus, thinking that he's going to be a good guy, which we now know differently. And Craven is basically killed by Marcus after they try killing him to overthrow all the elders. And then Marcus finds out where Selena and Michael are, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And basically,
After Marcus brutally killed in that Craven because holy shit, when you first see him alive, that was scary.
what, the big bat thing?
Yeah.
It's because he's a vampire dormant hybrid, though.
Yep.
But yeah, I understand. That was really cool design, though.
Yeah. Like the
So
blood.
basically,
Memory.
Marcus's whole plan in this movie is to free his brother and create a whole army of hybrids.
Yep.
I think that's what I
Well,
got from it.
we don't know what the true because he said not vampire werewolf, but a new way, my image, mine.
The image of their maker,
Yeah.
the true God, me,
Yep. No,
and a true God has no
had
father.
no father.
He kills Alexander Corvinus,
Yep.
which I liked. Let's see, what's his name? Derek Jacobi in the role. I thought he was really good.
Yeah.
When Len casted him, and by the way, both these movies are directed by Len Wiseman, the only two he directed in the series.
Yep.
Sadly, God, I wish he would have came back for the fourth one.
Same here.
But yeah, when he casted Jacoby, he wanted somebody with an Obi-Wan like quality,
Yeah.
like get Alec Guinness, which I thought
Hmm.
was a cool way to cast it. So yeah,
Yeah.
basically what happens is that um, we meet up with Alexander Corvinus when Selena and Michael try to get information about the necklace,
Yep.
and he tells them all the stuff about it, what they need to know. Marcus shows up, kills everybody, takes the necklace
Actually,
from.
actually, we gotta skip something. We got to skip another
What
scene with no vampire.
do you mean?
Before Marcus
Oh
and
yeah, tennis.
yeah, tenants.
Yeah, I forgot. So yeah, Selena and Michael go to meet Tannis, get the information they need, such as that Victor was was telling malicious lies, etc., etc. And then that's when they go to see Alexander Corvinus.
That's what I want. Well, shut crap. Stop it, Phil. We're seeing technical difficulties again. Google, you suck. Oh, hang on. I hate Google Plus.
Same, but we got to deal with what. All right, where did you lose me at?
I think I lost you when you talk about tenants.
Okay, yeah. So Selena and Michael go to see Andreas Tannis, the the historian of the coven. They collect the information they need from him and find that he was kind of dealing under the table with Lucian
Yep.
to kill Lycans. That's why he has Lycan bodyguards. And we also find that Celine was the one that exiled him 300 years ago because he was documenting what Victor called malicious lies. That's
Yep.
actually dialogue taken straight from the film. Thank you very much.
Yep.
And so he's been in exile for 300 years. And so they get the information they need from him, go to see Alexander Corvinus, he tells them about the locket, etc. And then we get to Marcus busting in, taking Michael as captive temporarily.
Yep.
Michael does hold his own against Marcus for a bit,
Yeah.
but then he gets his ass handed to him by being stabbed in the chest.
By
Which,
impairing him,
yeah,
Spike.
honestly, if you're not gonna have Speedman back for Awakening, you should have just killed him off here. I'm just saying.
Well, the thing is, wait, wait.
They didn't know they were gonna make Awakening at the time, though.
Why am I here, Neko?
I do not know.
Hmm.
But anyway, so yeah, Michael gets impaled with a spike on a step. Marcus takes the medallion or whatever, and then
Yep.
flies off to
Same
go
butter.
revive his brother.
I just want to put him with bullets.
Yeah, he gets Celine's blood, then he goes to revive his brother. And then we get to Corvinus, as I said, making Celine the future. She leaves. She tells the cleaners not to leave Michael where he's at, to take him with them. And then Celine tries to revive Michael with her blood, to sadly no avail at this point.
Yep.
Then she tells the cleaners to not leave Michael there. She goes to meet Corvinus, where she becomes the future. And I know I'm probably skipping around a lot, so bear with us.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get to the underwater cave where Marcus is at trying to revive William. He revives William, and then we get a big fight. And then William turns all the cleaners into Lycans, and then
Werewolves.
what?
Werewolves, not like
Werewolves,
any Lycans are
Lycans,
different.
whatever. Same family, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much the same family. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, we get this big fight. Michael finally revives himself, and then kills William by basically ripping his mouth in half,
Yep.
taking the head with it.
Af- after Michael came back from the dead, when he said,
That's what I'm
when
saying.
when he's doing Michael unique, you never have it before. The power can be limitless,
Yeah. Which
which
makes
is
me wonder why
awesome.
he didn't, which makes me wonder why he didn't come back to life when she revived him with the blood. Maybe it was a slow process. I don't know.
So positive, Bobby.
Who knows?
Who
This is something
knows?
I didn't notice. This is something I
Yep.
didn't really understand.
Yep.
But yeah, then we get, like I said, Michael basically ripping William's mouth off, taking the head with it too.
William. Uh,
And Marcus sees it, screams William, blah blah blah. He stabs Celine with his spike. Celine, because she's the future, rips the spike in half, jabs it through
his
Marcus
head.
his head through the chin or the jaw, whatever, and then throws him into the propelling
Helicopter.
machine and kills him. So all the elders are dead. They're basically Michael and Selena are basically by themselves, and that's pretty much where the movie ends with Selena saying that she's looking forward to the unknown future that lies ahead, etc., 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 and the end of the movie.
Yep.
Which this should have been the end of the trilogy. And I'm including
Well,
Rise of
actually,
the
end
too.
of this movie, this
Yeah,
story.
this would have been a perfect end to the trilogy. And yes, I'm including this movie, which we'll get to in a minute.
Yeah. Um. Okay. That's why I'm thinking. Let's get the overthought this movie. Our cat is still good. It's still joint acted, but well, kind of. We got new play on this movie. And Whitefish Shark movie, I kind of didn't like it because it didn't feel like it didn't feel like like it was. It felt like something else, which that's understandable because under evolution. And my Shark movie, I was disappointed. However, though, after seeing the movie again, we said, ugh, Google.
Okay, where did you lose me?
Um,
Where I said evolution should be the end of the trilogy, counting Rise of the Lycans.
well, that part I heard you. Yeah, I would just give it my thought on evolution.
Okay, continue then.
Where was I?
I don't
Oh,
know.
completely lost on champ. Oh yeah, now I remember. Okay, why first saw a new evolution? I instantly Nisha Grant didn't like it. However, I've seen the movie recently. I've seen the movie and do my own analysis. I concluded this movie might be that's a good follow with the movie because this movie had a bigger budget. It actually did more gore effect. Like, oh shit! It doesn't gore effect that get really dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, more blood, more gore, and more action with that. Like is the story good like the first film? No, but you know what? It's still
Because they dropped the whole war storyline.
yeah. But you know what? It's still a good sequel, a good follow up to the movie.
Yep.
I'm not saying the sequel is bad. It's not a bad sequel. That's a good sequel. However, after first seeing it, my initial reaction was, "What the heck is it? Where's my war?" Like, but after seeing it recently and going by in my head, I concluded this movie is not a bad sequel as I originally thought it was.
Mm-hmm.
It's still a good sequel, in my opinion. At the end, I mean, it has a great ending to the story, which I liked. Is it good? The first film? No, but you know what? It's still a good sequel. I highly recommend looking at this movie. Uh, our cast is still good. Acting still story is interesting. We get experience more of the profundity, which I liked. And it does have to conclude the entire story series with Suing and Michael as a whole. Now do I believe in general this entire plot is tight at the end of the plot holes? That's debatable.
Mhm.
Um, overall, actually, wait. There's one thing I do want to talk about. I completely forgot. The whole at the soon become the future with the Daywalker stuff. Okay. Correct me if I'm wrong in this one. Um, I thought I found out I think when Marcus died, or when William died, the werewolf will turn over to human, and vampires will go to human as well. That's what
Okay,
about
did
the
you
ending.
hear my tirade earlier? That was all bullshit. That Marcus fed to, or that Marcus fed to Victor.
Yeah,
That was
I
all
knew that.
bullshit. That would never happen. That was just mumbo jumbo.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Did you not
Yeah.
even hear what Tana said? A clever deception, one that Victor was not willing to put to the test.
Yep.
Did you fall asleep through that line? Did anyone who's ever seen these movies fall asleep during that line?
Not really.
Candace even confirms it.
Gotcha. Yeah. Good
Yes.
point.
Orale.
Yeah. Yeah. When I first heard that one, though, I felt confused. But you do make a good point.
A lot of people probably felt confused.
Yeah. Anyways,
Okay, this.
acting's good. All
Michael
production.
okay, Michael's able to walk in the daylight because he's a hybrid.
Yep.
Selena's able to walk in the daylight because of Corvinus.
Yep.
The power she got from him.
Yep.
That's how she's able to walk in the daylight.
Yep. Daywalker.
Yes. Does that fix your problem now?
Yes, it does.
Thank you. Can we proceed?
Yeah. What proceed? Acting's so good. Our production is beautiful like the first film. Our story is good, and our writing is good. Our acting's great. So, I see no more problem with this movie. And I will man, I still like the first film more than its sequel. I will give the sequel credit. It did continue the story where it left off, and then actually introduced a new threat, which is the point. Which is the point. I just find that introduced new threats. It was
Mhm.
one and two. And my opinion, I think the story should have ended with an evolution with Suing story, like which that was the plan.
What do you mean? Know this?
No. You can still have that. You can still have the Lycans. Like keep that well, but hit
You mean chronologically then?
yeah chronologically.
Yes, I agree with that one.
Like
We didn't
oh
even need Awakening.
yeah, we didn't.
At least not to be made poorly.
Like it's one of those sequel to evolution. That's cool, but
Do it
here's my
fair.
here's my idea with Awakening. Have the movie in general start with have the movie start and continue with the war with the humans with because that would be really cool.
Yes. All right, here's what you could do. Take the first 7 minutes of that movie and just
Expand
explain
about it.
it all the way through.
Yep.
But
With
no, we gotta get the main plot out of the way in 7 minutes and then digress into an action movie. Into an
yeah,
action.
it's another plot that no one wanted.
Exactly. But we'll get to that later.
I'll look at that later.
All right, my thoughts on this movie.
Yep.
Now, I've seen these movies all chronologically, so I pretty much started with this one. Probably not the
Which one?
best idea, but that's me. So, yeah, the music is great, the story is great, the actors are still good for their roles.
Yep.
Especially, Michael, especially Kate Beckinsale and Scott Bean, they're great in these movies.
Yep.
Like I said, the story's cool. It continues from the first movie, expands on the mythology, and in a very natural way, and it's overall very entertaining.
Yep.
Some people had a problem with making William a mindless werewolf.
Wait, who?
William, the first werewolf. Some
Yeah.
people had problems making him a mindless beast.
Figures.
True.
Yeah. Well, that's the pair of werewolves. Werewolves themselves, they have no control over themselves.
And I think what they were trying to do is like, you know how cavemen pretty much have no brains.
Yep.
That's probably what they're trying to illustrate. Is like William's kind of like the cavemen.
That's
They
true.
have no brains.
Yep.
That's just what I took away from it.
Good point.
All right, so now we get on to the prequel.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Should we go rating for evolution?
Yes.
My rating for Underworld 1, I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. My rating for the sequel, I give it 3 out of 5 stars. Mostly because what we can do, as much as I like the story at Seagull, I do miss the war aspect. But that's just me.
I agree.
Like it's not bad. It's not bad sequel, Marvin, but it's not great at the first one. But you know what? As a sequel itself, it's a good sequel, an
I
okay
agree
sequel
with
in
that.
my book.
I agree with that one. I would say probably I would give the first movie 4, and then you may think this is me weird, but I would give the second movie probably 4.5.
That's understandable.
I know. It's not that I didn't care for the story of the first one. I just like the story of the second one a little bit more. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's just how I am.
yeah, I understand.
Now we get on to everybody's favorite, sort of.
Yeah, why is it Lycans? What tell about the film history of this film?
I think I kind of did earlier when I said that they pretty much painted themselves into a corner and killed everyone off in the first two movies and completed Slim's arc.
That's
There
true.
was
Yeah,
really
that's
no
true.
else to
I think
go.
there's more history to the first film than we actually read.
So I looked that up.
Yep.
But I like, well, not YouTube, dumb me. But yeah, I like how this movie, Len was able to do some of the stuff that he couldn't do in the first movie.
Yep. I agree. Like more gore, like more effect, and more expanded on the
Yeah,
mythology.
no, you know the scene where they kill Sonya?
Yeah.
Yeah, in the first movie, that scene was done. That wasn't how Len wanted it because the actor and actress at the time, Jasmer Denmark, or whatever her name was,
Yeah.
refused to dye her hair brunette.
Ow.
And the room, I think, was too small to do it the way they wanted to. And so with this one, when they got Rona Mitra and they had probably a bigger budget and whatnot, they
Yep.
were able to do what they wanted to do the first time around.
Which
Which
makes sense.
which I wish they would re-release the first movie with flashback scenes to this one. But
Yeah.
God forbid that will never happen. I already know that.
Yeah. Then because you know what, you can't change back the film in general like that because that well because the film wasn't made. You know what? Do you have to
Okay.
remake it, which is a bad idea. That's
Okay.
funny.
Let's see. Says in September 2003, shortly after the release of the first movie, production companies Screen Gems and Lakeshore planned to release a prequel as a third film following the first movie's sequel, Evolution. Kate Beckinsale, who portrayed Selene in Underworld, expressed interest in reprising her role for the sequel and prequel, which we all know she was downgraded to a cameo and voiceover narration, which is fine.
Yep.
In December 2005, under Evolution director Len Westman explained that the franchise was originally conceived as a trilogy. Bullshit. Weisman said, "We sort of mapped out an entire history and story, a massive collection of ideas and stories that we're putting out at certain times. Weisman anticipated to create a third film for the franchise based on audience reception of Evolution, which would be released the following month. June 2006 interview. Weisman said the third film will be a prequel. It'll be an origin story. We find out things we didn't know about Lucian. He'll have a much bigger part in it. It will be about the creation of the race and what started the war. It will be a period piece. Awesome. The movie also will focus for the first time through Lycan's point of view. The director also shared director being I think they're still talking about Len. I'm not sure, but in
Yeah.
terms of writing, a lot of what has been done. We're developing Underworld. We've been developing Underworld 3 for a while. I won't be directing Rise of the Lycans. I'm just going to be producing and writing due to Die Hard 4 and being tired on that. That's not in the paper, but I'm saying that automatically.
Yep.
When asked if Kate would reprise the role of Selene in the prequel, Wiseman said it will be a time period before and will overlap into the creation of her as well. We're in the process of seeing how far we can go with that. The following October, actor Michael Sheen, who portrayed Lucian in the series, expressed interest in being in the prequel. Hollywood Reporter announced that the film will be written by Danny McBride and marked the directorial debut of Patrick Tatopoulos, who designed the creature effects for all three Underworld films. Len would produce and contribute to the writing of this film, but not direct. Nor would nor would Caden Speedman reprise their roles as Michael and Celine in the late 2000s in late September 2007. Outlander screenwriter Dirk Blackman and Howard McCain were brought on board and delivered a draft on November 3rd, mere days before the writer's strike 2007. Pre-production began shortly thereafter. The film was shot in Auckland, New Zealand. There was some additional shooting in North Carolina, and there was a brief pickup in Tanya Lake in Yosemite National Park as well. Wow.
Oh, that's a lot.
Okay. Did you even catch up that? Kind of went through in a breeze.
I can't catch up over there. I missed some parts. Whatever. Yeah.
Okay, because I kind of went through that in a breeze. I'm pretty sure you don't want this video being super long.
Yeah. Oops.
That's cool.
Like, all that stuff down to show my head will be very hard to.
Mm,
Spike, what are you doing? My dog. Spike, Spike.
Dougie.
Anyway, that's a lot of interesting history about this movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, this movie pretty much the origin of how the war in the first two movies started.
Yep.
What kind of drove the I guess the separation?
Lycans.
Yeah, the Lycans to rebel. Basically, as this movie states, Lucian was the first Lycan raised by pretty much raised by Victor
Yep.
to be a slave and kind of usher in a new race of Lycans
Yep.
to then be slaves for the Vampires in the daylight.
Yep. To be the guardians.
Yeah, that them too. The Daylight Guardians of the Masters in the Daylight.
Yep.
And we get back Michael Sheen, Kevin Gravel, who played Reyes in the first movie, was
Yep.
also one of the creators of the series.
Yep.
Then you get Stephen McIntosh back as Tannis, and then Bill Nye as Victor, obviously.
Yep.
And then, so this movie is basically kind of an origin and love story at the same time.
And period piece.
That too.
Tragic love story.
Yeah, tragic love story, basically like Romeo and Juliet,
Yep.
where Lucian basically falls in love with Victor's daughter. They, consummate their love. She gets pregnant. Victor has her killed because he doesn't want a hybrid grandson or granddaughter. Don't have a hybrid child in general
Yep.
because it's used disdain for him. And then after her death, Lucian basically leads the Lycans into freedom. And then the whole big battle occurs at the end of the movie. And then we finally get towards the end this, I guess, a fight we've, like with Star Wars, been waiting for a while. A fight between Victor and Lucian, which awesome fight, I'll admit.
Yeah. Awesome fight.
And then Victor is presumed dead, and we get Ray saying, "Lucian, it is finished." And that's when
No, it's just the
Lucian
beginning.
says, "No, this is only the beginning." And then we get Victor alive with Dennis on a boat, and then Lucian or Craven or not, Victor is put into the coffin where he'll, I'm presuming, stay until the first movie.
Yep.
Don't know, I'm not sure because the whole flashbacks in the second movie confused me a bit. But anyway, then we get the opening, pretty much the opening scene to the first movie tied in, which was awesome. Added in the dialogue where Craven tells Celine the truth, and that's pretty much where our movie ends.
Yep. We had to skip a lot of parts in general. We had to skip some of the subplots.
True.
But that's the basic plot in a nutshell.
Pretty much. And yeah, they were almost considering leaving the tag at the end off the movie. They were
Yep.
almost going to leave that off. But I'm actually glad they put it in though.
Yeah.
Even though it's just a combination of stock footage and stock audio.
Yeah, but you know what? Screw it.
And
This part.
here's what confuses me.
Mhm.
Okay. Came back and said on Shane Brawley, right? Celine
Yeah.
and Craven. They didn't shoot any new footage for this movie, yet they're still giving credit. That makes no sense.
I don't get it either. Whatever.
Hey, if you're gonna give credit to them for doing jack shit, you may as well give Speedman credit for this. I'm just saying.
Anyways, before we get to Awakening, Geometry,
But yeah,
what do you talk about casting characters in Wild Dragons?
okay. Like the first two movies, great atmosphere, great set design.
Yep.
The music is awesome. I really enjoy the characters, especially Lucian and
Yeah.
Victor. They're the ones that are the ones that anchor this movie. If you think about it.
Yep.
I
Sonya's awesome. She's a badass.
I know, right? I like how they brought Tannis back because the original script wasn't going to include him because they weren't sure if they could get Stephen McIntosh, but they got him and put him in, which I thought was awesome.
Yep.
I did like Brona Mitra in this movie, even though This is probably like the second or third movie I've seen her in, and I thought she was really good.
Yeah.
Um, and I kind of like that they even made this movie to begin with,
Same
even though
here.
we got the flashbacks in the first movie. I mean,
Hmm.
there are some people say it didn't need to be expanded on, but would you rather a complete train wreck?
Yeah. Or a good awesome prequel story that made sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
So yeah, fun movie, ties in really well with the first film. I think it's just awesome, and they do
Yeah.
actually mention Marcus and Amelia in this movie.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, by saying that they're in hibernation.
Yep.
Because Victor's like, haven't increased our coven by tenfold since Marcus and Amelia took their sleep.
Yep.
So yeah, they are name dropped in the movie, which I thought was awesome.
Yeah, they are.
The movie.
Also, this movie does mention William.
Yeah, Williams Estlin.
Yep. When past tense.
So yeah, I
Which
do like that they name drop old characters in this movie to
same
kind of
here.
that was awesome.
Yep. Also, another fun fact of the movie. This movie might be actually tells a good prequel story, but does it right because I don't want to say my prequel story. The thing prequel
I'll give
or
you a
Star Wars
pass.
prequels.
I'll give you a pass on that one.
This movie tells a good prequel story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your overall thoughts on this movie?
I love the cast. I love the characters. I love the story, and I also love this movie does explore more of the mythology between the Lucian and Victor
Do you
because
agree with what this says? I'm not sure you can see that. But there is the best in the series.
hmm I agree with that.
Same here.
Like this in my opinion, is where the movie is where the series should have ended because
Exactly.
why do I get in my opinion tells an awesome origin story and awesome tragic love story because when you see at the Lucian try to escape, which he does it a badass way, to go like yeah, and he killed the two vampires. That's awesome.
Alright.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
I really enjoy this movie. I think it's a lot of fun.
and Victor had awesome antagonists in this movie more than the first one because you get to see how Victor ruthless in this movie because yes, in the first one he was ruthless, but in this one you get to see how well he was already ruthless, but you get to see his much more darker side in this movie,
Mm-hmm. And he
which is
does have,
awesome.
and he also has a parental side too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is
And
cool.
I hate to say this, but I think Bill Nye's parental side of the character, I hate to say this, but is better than Beckinsale's. And she's actually
Yeah, I agree too.
not that I don't hate Kate, but this movie's just bad. This movie's just all bad. But we'll get
Yeah,
to that later.
and we'll get to that. What talk about the what talk about two main protagonists or like what talk about yeah actors who played like Lucian's lover.
Chronometra.
Yeah, like do you think she's good? Like Kate Beckinsale?
I do like that they got her in the movie because it said that the reason why Victor turned Celine was because she resembled his daughter. So I
Yep,
thought that was awesome they cast her in the movie though, because they do look a
agreed.
lot alike if you think about it.
Yeah, they do.
So I thought that was awesome, and I think she played the role very well. I mean,
Same
yeah,
here.
she can't touch Kate, but I think she does good for the role.
Agreed. But in my opinion, actually, I think expanding upon the Sonya at the main love interest for Lucian that made more sense because in the original movie, at least the first movie, we barely knew any of Sonya. We knew in flashbacks. So
Mm-hmm.
my bad. I think there's a great there's a great explanation about how she was and how she and Lucian fell in love with each other.
Yep.
Granted, we don't know how they fell in love with each other, but you know what? Fuck it. At this point, no one cares about that.
This movie establishes that they know each other from children,
Yep.
which I thought was really cool.
Yeah. But the action in my brain is great. The story is interesting, and I might say my love stories. Fucking Twilight, you suck. You kill all my bad monsters. This love story made more sense.
Yes.
Which, if I did do Land on Twilight, I'll do it'll probably be an epic rant. But I don't want to torture myself.
Yes. Do not
You know,
torture yourself, son.
I'm not gonna do that.
Well,
Anyways,
I agree with Shock to Drop. This is the best in the series.
yep. And screw on tomatoes rating on this movie. Rotten Tomatoes, you suck. These movies are great, and this movie is
Yes.
the best one.
Here's some advice. Don't trust Rotten Tomatoes.
I don't.
Give me
I
an
never
opinion.
will. I trust them sometimes with other
Because,
movies.
okay, I don't mean to be rude, but they overpraised Force Awakens. Okay,
I still like that movie, but it's my opinion.
I like Force Awakens, but they overpraise it
That's understandable.
because they beat you over the head with the nostalgia. Like literally beat you over the head with it. But if you like the movie, fine. That's your opinion. But
Yep.
yeah, anyway, we've talked enough about Star Wars in these several other videos. So
Yeah,
anyway,
we did.
best in the Underworld series, great prequel. What more can you ask? Unlike
Yeah, like and
other,
personally, in my opinion, I think
unlike
when you see
other
that,
prequel movies, this one's actually good.
agreed. Hmm?
What?
Wait, what did you say? Repeat that. Sorry.
Dumb and Dumber.
What?
Dumb and Dumber when Harry met
Oh
Lloyd.
yeah, Oh yeah, that
Yeah,
train
unlike
wreck.
that piece of crap, this one's actually good. It
Agreed.
tells a good story.
Hmm.
And it
Yeah,
actually
and point.
ties in with the other movies.
Yep.
Unlike the other movie that I just mentioned.
Yeah, and oh, like another prequel movie that I mentioned, The Thing, which is unnecessary progression and exists. This prequel
I've
made more
actually,
sense.
I've actually seen that movie. I've never seen the other one yet.
John Carpenter thing is awesome. I recommend you see that immediately. It's a horror fan, you'll love it.
Yeah, I'll probably watch it sometime.
Yeah, it's probably Netflix maybe. I don't know. Maybe Netflix took it off by now.
Well, my Netflix is being a turd right now.
You know, so maybe you guys probably rent it or probably find someone out there on. It's not on
Probably.
Redbox, so maybe you find it out there on probably Amazon. You can buy it.
I'm sure I'll find it.
Yeah, you'll
But
find
yeah,
it.
best movie series, great characters, great overall music. The set design
Production
is
design is perfect. It's a
oh,
great
this was
medieval.
cool. That being topless. Okay, you know how Patrick Topless is usually the creature guy and the set guy.
Yep.
Well, since he was directing on this movie, guess who replaced him as set designer?
Who?
Drum roll, please.
Hang on.
Hold on, I'll do it. Lord of the Rings Zone. Jack Hanna or Chris Hanna, whatever his name is.
What the fuck?
Oh, Parker.
Hello, I was watching the video. I heard somebody complain about The Force Awakens. So I rushed my ass over here. What the? Okay. I
He's a man.
What do you think?
stop muting me, you piece of shit. I needed to make my epic cameo. Okay, what the fuck? This movie.
We're unfinished.
I love The Force Awakens. That's it. Fuck it. Fuck all the haters. Bye.
Why? That was a cameo.
Yes.
That was Parker, boy. Epic cameo.
Anyway, but yeah.
Anyways.
Dan Hanna, that's the guy's name. I've seen Lord of the Rings enough. I should know the fucker's name. But
Yep.
apparently I don't. But yeah, they got him to do the set design for this movie, and it's really good.
Yeah, it is good.
Beautiful
It's
stuff
gorgeous.
from Middle Earth.
Yep.
So yeah, great movie, great characters, great soundtrack. Although I'm not officially listened to the whole thing, but as far as what's in the movie, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good, story good, great music, great set design. The direction is awesome.
Playing's good.
Movie, just like the first two.
Mm-hmm.
And then we now shall get to the crap fest.
Well, before we get to Awakening, there's one thing I do want to add, like, and then there's a major one that I wish happened. If Oh, I know I did well. Which wait, did it do well? Like,
I think
did it?
so. I don't know.
What was the budget? I'm sure the movie. So I'm sure the movie actually had information. Wait, no, it didn't. I forgot to give you the explain budgets.
It's a simple question. If you only have Rise of Lycans on your iTunes, how are you able to see the other movies?
I saw it on TV or on demand.
The budget for Rise of the Lycans was 35 million.
Wow, it's cheap.
Yes.
But at least it paid off.
Mm-hmm.
Only some big budget movie that spending money on bullshit.
Yep.
Case in point, Pen Sick, which we talk about that movie like the old. We talk about enough of that movie. That movie is dead at this point.
Dead and buried.
Yeah. Anyway, that's not a topic for another day. Actually, it does give me an idea to do a Vendetta 4 discussion, maybe. We'll probably do that. We'll probably do that as the next time.
Okay.
Keep the idea intact because in case Marvel get back to do Vendetta 4, I do may want to do a discussion on Vendetta 4 eventually.
Okay.
Anywho, back to what do I like. Why do I, in my opinion, I'll give my 1-5. I love this movie. This movie had a great prequel, a great origin story solution, great origin story to how Sonya died, a great origin, and great tragic love story that made more sense, and in my opinion, actually a great after entire Victor because it made more Victor more evil.
Mm-hmm.
Also, my opinion, Victor had more of a complex reason, despite besides in the first movie, you get the reason why he hates Lycans.
Mm-hmm.
But the art and second one, they have to explain. I think Victor was scared at the Marcus. I think he was. I'm not sure.
What?
Victor,
Scared of Marcus?
yeah, or the Ocean. I'm not sure.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
I don't know if he was scared of
Good point.
him. So, train wreck time?
Yeah, we'll get to that. Like, there's one more thing I do want to talk about. Cause we forgot. One thing I really wish happened, and it's a major thing. I want the story to continue where it left off. I want to see more of the war.
Mm.
But obviously, they couldn't do that since the first one already established everything. So maybe they're gonna expand on the war. But maybe I don't know. Because I really want to see more of the medieval world because it's probably some other story that we haven't get to see.
True. I'll give you
Grant,
that.
gra- Granted, we'll probably never gonna see them ever again. But you know what? At the finale, to tell trilogy and a great prequel, I think Mario did what the final should have ended. It's a great prequel story, and it wraps up everything. Okay, it didn't wrap up everything. You have to add more questions, but you know what? It wraps up everything with the Lucian story. It wraps up everything with Victor's story. It wraps up everything with Tap has. There's
Mm-hmm.
nowhere else to go.
Oh, yes, there was.
Yeah, in the present. I'm talking about the past.
Oh, okay.
Like the past, in my opinion, I think there's nowhere else to go. But in the present, that's debatable. Overall, I give me a 5 out of 5. I love this movie.
Same
Is it
here.
perfect? No. But you know what? It's the best in series in my opinion, and my all-time favorite Underworld movie all the time. And my time I came back and started doing, I will admit I do like Lucian more. But Lucian's story is way more interesting. It's
Mm.
not like I hate Suing. I love Suing. Suing's an awesome character. But I think Lucian's story and this film and the first film are actually interesting. That's why, and I think it paid off.
And we actually get to see kind of Lucian's full life because we see him in the first movie how he dies, and then
Yep.
the rest of the Lycans we see him born, and then he goes on from there. So yeah, we kind of
Yep.
get to see his full life, which I thought was really cool.
Yep.
All right, so
Time to talk about the disappointing movie at the front and the movie that I really got pissed off when I saw it in theaters. I really wanted the movie good, but I really did. I excited when it all well.
you want to see what I think his name is Evan Dixon from BloodyDisgusting.com said about this movie?
What?
Best Underworld yet.
Bullshit.
Bull fucking shit.
Shit.
Okay. Now, I've already said this in my disappointing movies and the disappointing movies thing. This movie had an interesting storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This movie takes place roughly 12 years after Awakening, or after the Revolution, where supposedly, I say supposedly, humans have discovered the existence of vampires and Lycans.
Yep.
But here's the problem with that.
After they
They got
recap
that
the
out
first
in
3
7
movies.
minutes. They get that out of the way in 7 minutes of the movie. That's including the opening logos and the recap of the last 3 movies. So
Yep.
maybe 4 or 5 minutes they get that out of the way in.
Hmm.
Then we digress into a plot that, I'm sorry, could be borrowed from both a Resident Evil movie based on the stuff I've seen of the films and a Taken movie.
And some other movies.
That too. And somehow the humans, or I'm sorry, no, not humans, fuck me, the Lycans have devised a way. Oh, yes, spoiler alert for this movie. The humans working in Antigen are not humans. They are Lycans. And I call bullshit. You advertise. Okay, let's go back to the advertisement for this movie. The trailers, right? Awesome trailers. You advertise that this will be a new war of humans versus the vampires and Lycans, possibly setting up the idea that the Lycans and vampires have put aside their differences to work together to face a new enemy. Great! That would have been awesome! But what do? You fuck it up!
Yep.
You did us pretty much the same bullshit we got in the last 3 movies. Although in those movies, it wasn't bullshit. This it was! Because, okay, the movie opens with Celine Michael, played by a stand-in with human's digital face put on. Okay? Because, God forbid, they can get screaming in this movie.
Yep.
Fuck you, Val. Yeah, so they're basically running, trying to escape the humans who want to kill them, right? Because there's this big purge trying to kill all the vampires and Lycans. Great story. Awesome. So Michael and Celine dive into, or Michael's shot into water, into a big lake. Celine dives in after him, and then she's frozen for 12 years.
Yep.
Okay. I can roll with that. Then we get from Wes Bentley, Blackheart himself. I'm sorry, that's the only movie I know him from. Stay with me, though. You may hate Ghost Rider, but that's fine. Stay with me for though. He says that they wanted Celine and Michael because they wanted to study them to create a serum that would possibly cure them. Wait, where have I seen this plotline before? Person studied so they can devise a cure. Where have I seen it before? Oh yeah, Last Stand.
Yep.
Oh.
Well, and was another movie probably did that plot too.
Depending on what movie it is, I've probably not seen it.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay. Awesome idea, though. Even though Ball from X-Men 3.
Yep.
But, what do? They reveal that all humans in Antigen are Lycans, and that the serum is really supposed to be an antidote to allow the Lycans to be immune to silver.
Yep.
Oh my god! Oh my... the headaches!
We should know the film history of the movie before we went to the plot.
Film history. You want to know the film history? Okay. I said it earlier. Len Westman originally envisioned the series as a trilogy. Okay?
Yep.
But, like every other person who makes a 4th movie after they've said a trilogy's ended, they want more of, hang on.
Money!
Exactly! They want more money. So Len devised up a script, which I'm pretty sure didn't take him long to write because of how crappy this movie is.
Yep.
He probably explained, oh, there's my first draft, I'll send it in.
Yep.
Oh, my God. And it's like, oh, no one cares. Well, no one will freaking care about my wife's back in this movie. Yeah, Kate's back. Awesome. Wish it had been a better movie, though. So, yeah, we get the reveal that the Lycans are, or the humans in Antigen are really Lycans, that the supposed cure serum is really an antidote to make the Lycans impervious to silver, and also allows them to be twice the size of a normal Lycan.
Yep.
Yeah, and people said the Venom symbiote in Spider-Man 3 was inconsistent.
This is more inconsistent with the
Thank
normal 40.
you. Thank you.
But this one it's all rules.
This movie doesn't even feel like an Underworld movie. The only time it feels like one is when we are in David's Coven.
Yep.
That's the same set design as the past 3 movies. This
Yep.
one is more in a normal city. Like they didn't even give a fucking care.
Yep.
Oh my god. This movie, I hate to say this, but it has very little story. It's too short, and I'm starting to think over relies on the action scenes.
Hmm.
Okay, at least the first 3 movies had stories.
Yeah,
That
I guess.
may not have been good, but they still had storylines. And
Hmm.
also, this movie doesn't even add to the mythology.
No, it did not. Yeah, it just added more questions.
Okay, it's like what Jeremy Johns said. This movie is irrelevant. This is just a relevant movie that some bullshit studio conjured up.
Yep. Which wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me why a lot of people,
Which is
a
why,
lot of fans are going to be pissed off.
I am mixed going into the 5th movie because of how let down I was by this one.
Same here.
Oh my god! But I'm pretty sure I've gotten everything out of the way. I'm sure there's other stuff you probably want to mention, so go ahead.
Yeah. Like
Okay.
West Side Man Theory. I already know how get traded my band. Any point that vampire is human and we're trying to well understand involved movie. But I thought the way we're going to be like a side plot. I think we're not the main threat. I think we're going to be the corporation.
I that maybe the Lycans and vampires have to team up together, but no, fuck that.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
We can't go one movie without Lycans being villains.
Yeah, we can't. Which is stupid. We established in the 3rd movie they're arguing with what they were mistreated.
Like some other franchise, they can't go one video game without a main villain in there. Arkham's a series.
Arkham series that's a different that's a different discussion.
They can't go one game without Joker being in it. One game.
True, but I understand. But the thing about Arkham Knight made more sense because they didn't bring the Joker back to life. To a degree, the Joker would.
Arkham Origins though, because
Yeah, the Origins.
Black Mask being the main villain, but then all of a sudden the mask comes off and it's Joker.
Yep.
Yeah, I couldn't have seen that. It's not like I didn't see that twist coming a mile away. But anyway,
yep.
back to Underworld.
Back to this train wreck.
Apparently, let's get back to the crap fest that's this.
Yep. Okay.
I don't overall hate this movie. I do enjoy it for what it is, but I was just hugely disappointed by it.
So was I.
Put it that way. But go on what you're saying. The trailers.
This movie in my opinion is a complete train wreck because it completely fucked over the time of party. It fucked over a lot of story potential with the human vampire dragon war, which the print edition also went to see that war. The Avatar Premier War. But no, I get war. I get just more just a
The generic action movie?
Yeah. That too.
Here's how the movie goes. We open with the opening logos. We get Celine narrating a recap of the last 3 movies. Then we get her and Michael running from the humans because of this purge. We get her frozen for 12 years. Michael is apparently captured somewhere else. She meets her daughter, she meets David, played by Theo James.
Well, after they find the daughter.
Actually, she meets David first. Anyway, she meets David, played by Theo James, who's fine in this movie.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing Divergent or anything. I refuse to see that shit of a movie.
Yeah.
Then she runs into the daughter thinking it's Michael, who's not even going to be in the next movie. The daughter's not. And what's the point of introducing her and not bringing her back? Hell, even Charles Dance is coming back for the next one.
But why not bring her back? I want to go see accelerate aging.
Maybe they'll explain. Maybe she's off somewhere looking for Michael alone. I don't know.
Probably.
Who knows? That's probably why Speedman's not in the cast list. They'll probably explain it.
Yeah, hopefully.
Anyway, she then meets up with. Then what happens is these Lycans come in, take the daughter because the character played by Charles Dance is a fucking pussy apparently.
Yep.
So he hands his daughter over to get the Lycans to leave. Then she then meets up with Detective Sebastian, who's pretty much our only main human in this movie,
Yep.
aside from the person who pretty much raised the daughter in Celine's
Yep.
absence, which she gets butchered though. So yeah,
Yeah.
Detective Sebastian's pretty much our only main human in this movie, who I will admit has a very kind of a sad backstory. His
Yeah.
wife was a nurse bitten by a vampire.
Hey.
They basically were the only ones that knew about it until the purge, where she just basically let sunlight in and kill her and kill herself.
Yep.
I will admit that's a sad backstory.
Mm-hmm.
But then we get them working together. She breaks into antigen, basically makes the elevator go big boom, and she
Yep.
finds her daughter on a hospital stretcher. And I'm pretty much spoiling the whole movie, pretty much. Because why?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure people who love this series won't
Sucks.
give a crap. But yeah, she finds her daughter. They're basically taking her out of the facility because of Celine's breaking into the facility, and they want to finish this procedure. Fuck you. And so Shalene meets them in the parking garage. David shows back up out of the fucking out of nowhere because he was supposed to originally die,
Yep.
but they liked Theo James's performance. They kept him right on back. But yeah, anyway, Detective Sebastian gets shot and nearly ran over. David shows up, takes out employees of Antigen. They go back to find Michael. Michael's gone. They go up to the roof.
We kind of skipped the super Lycan stuff.
I don't give a crap. This movie's boring. Yes, they have super Lycans. Okay, they have Uber Lycans is what they call them. They're twice the size of any Lycan that we've ever seen before. There, got it, done. Anyway, we get to the roof where we assume Michael is. Michael's gone, and Celine ends the movie with a narration saying that we will find Michael together, and then the vampires will reclaim the world, etc., etc. Movie ends. We end on an awesome Evanescence song, which is, I'm sorry, probably the best thing in this movie, aside from the trilogy recap, and obviously Kate's performance, but that's
And for some minutes.
there. That's neither here nor there. But yeah, the movie ends on an Evanescence song, and then cut to credits, boom, done. I just ran down this hour and 28-minute crap fest.
In 5 minutes.
Pretty much.
Yep. Like
That's half the time that the purge part took place in.
Anyway, I'll get my thoughts quick and fast because this movie is gonna be train wreck and oh god, they fucked it up like how you fucking idea this cool with no human rated vampire will so I mean,
What he said that this series was originally conceived as a trilogy.
yeah, which I liked, which I with no that would do the plan. I support that plan. And do I this movie before a cash grab, which by studio douchebags who want money.
Back,
Yep.
probably.
I will admit, there's something I did like about this movie. Most of the Kate Beckinsale Celine.
True.
Like I still like that as a character.
Here's what I like about
I wish Michael was in this movie
They brought
more.
Kate back. Here's the good parts of this movie. They bring Kate back. They have the first 7 minutes, the Evanescence song, and then they mention Celine, how Celine is able to walk in the daylight. Which, I'm sorry, they fucked that up too.
How?
This movie is majority nighttime. There are only maybe 2 scenes in the daylight.
Yep.
Ah!
Yeah.
You introduce a plot point in the second movie that states that she can walk in the daylight, and you waste it.
Yeah, she was a daywalker. She was Blade.
Share your thoughts before my head explodes.
Actually, speaking of head exploding.
Okay, seriously, how are you able to get the lightsaber effect?
like that to what dramatic of your head exploding.
But how are you able to get that lightsaber effect?
I have no idea. No shit, I don't know how I got that lightsaber effect. Anyway, What was that? Oh yeah, like I saw it playing theaters, and after I saw it, I was pissed. I was going to do a review on that movie, but at the time I was afraid to do it. I wish I did it though. Anyways, this movie was a complete train wreck. And like, they fucked him up all day. They fucked up the war. They fucked everything up. Like, how do you fuck this up so bad? I don't get it. So
Me
stupid.
either.
Also, in my opinion, what? Okay, there's something about it. Most of the actor play Eve. I think she's a good child actor. Like granted, she wasn't giving him much to do, but I'll give her credit. She did try her best. I think that she's a good actress.
I agree. She tried.
Yeah, like I thought child actors go. She actually was good. Yes, okay, that may not be not interesting, but you know what? Fuck it. She did her best, now, and I have to give her credit. Like she tried her damn best, and I approve, in my opinion. Because most child actors, they're really not that great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, what was? Oh yeah.
Yeah, she was originally on a show that, because of that show, my favorite show got canceled.
What was the show?
Secret Life of the American Teenager.
Oh yeah, that show. Ew.
Yeah, and I know this is an unrelated subject, but fuck you, the Life of a Teenager. You
Yeah.
canceled Kyle X Y.
Card. What?
Kyle X Y was an awesome show. Ran for
Never
three
heard of it.
seasons and ended on a cliffhanger.
Gotcha. Never heard of it.
I'm sure it's on Netflix.
Probably. I'm on never going down. I can't find anything.
Anyway,
Anyways,
we're talking about stuff that is actually good. Let's go back to
yeah.
the train wreck and end it.
Hmm.
So overall thoughts.
Um, the one good thing I like, some action scenes I like, some action scenes are bad.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not really actually more the lighting. Because the lighting's so just inconsistent. Because we had these new vampire characters who, in my opinion, are just uh, generic and boring. The one character I found more interesting was when we were showing at the end for the daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Both characters might be the only thing I liked. The actor and I'll give the human detective credit. He might have an interesting backstory.
Yeah, and it was because of Michael Ealy, the guy that played the detective in this movie, that I
Yeah.
actually watched the show Common Law. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's one good thing this movie did. It got me to watch It got me to watch a TV show.
Yep.
Thank you for the one good thing in my life.
Yep.
Good thing you did for me.
Yep. Thank you, movie. Thanks.
Yes, thank you for getting me to watch a TV show,
Yeah.
which is
And
an awesome show, by the way.
I'll probably check that show out eventually. Anyways, what did I tell the train wreck?
The worst thing about this movie is the writing.
That's true. Oh, writing is so inconsistent and it's so bad to the point that it made no sense.
The writer of the movie, the guy that wrote the TV show The Shield, said that this would be unlike the other movies. Well, you got that fucking right.
You got that right. Like, and some people like this movie, which I understand. Believe me, you like this movie. That's cool. You gotta tell your own opinion.
Yeah, but we fans of these hate this movie.
Yeah, agreed. Like I don't care, studio. Why do you always fucking friend I like Spider Man or X Men or any friend I like that had a good trilogy?
I agree.
Like
Which makes me very worried for the next movie.
yeah, which we'll talk about that later. To take actually a quote from a certain YouTuber I know. This movie actually is completely on trend, completely abomination, and here's the response for the studio. Or better yet,
I'm not sure if you've seen Confused Matthew's reviews, have you?
I have.
To quote Confused Matthew, fuck this bullshit.
Agreed. Oh, that thing is old. Anyways, like this movie is a complete train wreck, complete betrayal to the time frame, and a cliffhanger.
And
But
it doesn't even, yeah, a cliffhanger the next movie won't even follow through on.
which pissed me off even more
Because
because I
someone
wanted to know if they found my
they're not even on the cast list.
well, which is annoying as hell because you
Oh,
established a new story. You made
apparently,
us waste our money for this train wreck, and I did to find Michael. Wait, Michael was in this story. Like you can't do that. You can't jump on another story to another story without going to the first story.
exactly.
It's bad storytelling, bad writing.
You think?
Yeah, like there's no first act, there's no second act, there's no writing action, foreign action,
Wait,
climax,
this is basically what Fan Stick was. It's all set up and no
no
payoff.
payoff. Yep. And Serene did find Michael, but the thing is, she found out at the choir stages.
Yeah, but the only reason why she left him there was because, God forbid, we can get Freeman in this movie.
Yeah, which is annoying. Which, oh, that's one thing that pissed
I
me.
quote Confused Matthew. Fuck
Fuck this
this
movie.
bullshit.
Yeah, agreed. Like, I saw him in theaters and I got disappointed. I wanted to review it during the time, I never got to.
To all fans of Underworld, stick with these three movies.
Yeah,
You'll find more enjoyment with these.
yeah. Our cinematography not that good either. Cinematography sucks.
What?
Our cinematography not that good either.
What, this?
Yeah,
How so?
like all the action scene we can barely see. Hello, Parker.
Parker's
Okay.
grin.
Yoo-hoo. Okay then. Anyways, what was that? Oh yeah, cinematography not good either. Lighting not good either. Story not good. Our characters are not
Worse
that
than the original
are
movie.
two, are two-dimensional, not
What's
three-dimensional.
up?
Hello, Parker.
Why are you all gray and whatnot?
Oh shit. 1 second. You're seeing the wrong image. There we go. I just came to say one thing.
What?
I'm gonna listen to your guys' rant. I'm pretty well. Are you done ranting about this film?
Almost.
Yes, almost.
Continue your rant. I would like to hear it.
Okay.
Did you even watch the video that's online?
That's a
As long
no.
as you heard most of our rant. But
Anyway,
trivia.
anyways, this movie is complete train wreck, complete betrayal of my father. It contrived,
What
boring.
mythology? This doesn't even add to it.
That's what I said. It contradicts my father.
Oh,
Like,
continue.
it doesn't add to it. It adds bullshit, and in the plot, it's a
No,
it's
it
a
is
two-minute
bullshit.
plot. Instead of the thing out we advertised, but the war with the human, we got something else, something generic and boring, and stupid.
Here's what I would have loved for this movie. Take that 7 minutes, expand it, and establish that the vampires and Lycans have to form a truce to take out the humans. That would be awesome.
Yeah,
They
like
would actually do something different from the first three movies and added a bit to the mythology.
mm-hmm.
But no!
Why did the humans find out with the war?
We get bullshit.
And how did this corporation get the power? That's what I still wonder.
Yeah, and who's the one that revealed the existence of vampires and Lycans?
I wonder myself.
I mean, yeah, like I said in the disappointment video, it's possible because the cleaners and Alexander Corvinus are dead that maybe someone stumbled upon the remains and whatnot.
Yeah.
That's possible. But here's the thing is, and I don't, okay, Parker, I'm not charging Force Awakens, I'm just using a comparison for a minute. Just like in Force Awakens, this explains nothing. Nothing. I will give Force Awakens something over this movie. It's more entertaining.
Agreed.
Both movies were unnecessary, but Force Awakens is more entertaining than this. So I will give Force Awakens something over this movie.
Yeah, but this movie might be a complete betrayal to that franchise, and also this movie man fucked over a lot of characters I'm pursuing, and fucked over a lot of great story material. Ugh.
Fuck!
Okay, here's what you should have done. Just reboot the damn thing.
Wait,
That
put
would
it.
have been better. Because then we wouldn't have
Uh,
got the shit.
I don't want to reboot the franchise because
I'm just saying. Okay, I'm just saying, because they killed everyone off in these three movies. Celine's story was done. So what I'm
Yep.
saying, reboot the damn thing if you're going to create a whole new cast of characters. I would have been fine with that. I mean, I wouldn't have seen the damn movie, to be honest, but still, I would have been fine because it doesn't betray the last three movies.
that's also true. But maybe a reboot is not a good idea. My idea was to tell a different story.
I would rather a reboot than a movie that basically spits in the face of the last three movies.
Agreed. So a remake basically.
Another film franchise that had a pointless fourth movie.
I mean, Spider-Man.
No.
Transformers motherfucking 4.
Well, yes, but no.
Oh.
I think you guys have an idea of where I'm going with this.
Oh god.
What movie brought the two main leads back and did jack shit with them?
Spy Kids.
Oh my god!
Yes.
Anyway, let's wrap this piece of cover before my brain explodes like in
Mine
scanners.
too.
For
the third time, as Confused Matthew says, fuck this bullshit.
Yeah, agreed. And Jeremy Johns said, this movie dog shit. Like, what the fuck did we guys see?
Yeah.
And my score is 0 out of 5 stars. This movie sucks.
Jeremy Johns' rating for I don't know which movie it was. This movie is E
Dog
equals
shit.
MC dog shit.
Yeah.
You know what? I haven't even seen the damn thing, and I give it a fuck you.
Okay, Parker, if you ever watch the movies, watch these three. They are
Watch Underworld
fucking
1
entertaining.
first, watch Underworld 2 second, and watch the third one last.
Okay. Just skip the fourth one?
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yep. If you want the fourth film, Curiosity, go for it.
Yes, that one. If you want to watch it,
Should I, like, laugh at it for how bad it is?
You can try.
Yeah, you try.
Okay.
Good luck. Anyway, well, my father, this movie is a big fuck you, a big 0 out of 5 stars, and this movie sucks. Avoid like the play against all animal fans. Go watch the first three movie and end it right there, and just do what I do. Like make your own ending pursuing story. You decide.
Yes.
Like Strange Story ended at the end of 2, and Illusion Story in my opinion started at the end of Lycans, and is Death ends at 1. Yeah, whatever. Anyways, point is,
Here's
first
my
movie
rating.
is good.
Here's my
Fourth
rating.
sucks.
I give this movie a 2 out of 5. Or maybe, no, 0.5. Why? Because the first 7 minutes was good, then the Evanescence song at the end was great, and then the fact they bring Kate back. That's all the good stuff. The rest
Agreed.
of the movie is bullshit.
Agreed. And at a franchise, this franchise, in my opinion, this movie would be trend and unnecessary. Well, actually, that's not true. Unnecessary, maybe, but I think the whole human idea in final would make sense.
Yeah, this wouldn't have been done if they would have done it better.
Yeah, and wait, who's the director of the movie? I think there were 2 directors.
Yes, they are, if I'm right, Mans Marlin and Bjorn Stein. The guys whose last movie got a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh!
Wow, that sucks. And
And also, to quote Jeremy, there's a bit of a video game aspect in this movie. How you ask? Because, tell me if this sounds familiar. Take out little bad guys, like the little henchmen, and then you have big boss fight with big creature.
that's every action game ever.
Thank you!
Like that's my favorite action game. Like Devil May Cry did it. Bayonetta did it. It was awesome. Bayonetta awesome series. Um,
Okay, I will say this. This movie is decent. Just decent, and that's one of the small things I mentioned that I liked.
yeah,
Just decent. Okay, I will even give the first movie something over this one. It's good and well done.
yep,
And even the first one I liked the least of the original three, I'll just say. But yeah, I give the first movie at least a good storyline and good characters.
yeah,
This has none of that.
yeah. It basically it takes my father and spits on him. And then "Yeah, we did fuck to my father and fuck everything else. But who don't cares? Who cares about the story? Ugh. Ugh. Smelled the light on this one. And I'm good critics, but you just went over like you people were right, and I would do it pissed off. Like I wanted to like this movie, I did, but that's not it. I was disappointed. And a Jerry movie, another
Yeah,
bad sign.
what's a bad sign?
That movie was in January.
Mm,
Like, and Jerry movie though, you just shit month.
I see.
Yeah. God, this movie sucked. I
You
mean,
want to wrap things up?
kind of. Oh, what time of the future is this franchise?
Um. Okay, you want to talk about the Food Service franchise?
Yeah, the future.
I am very doubty on it.
Explain.
Why? Two words. Underworld Awakening.
That's one. Oh wait,
That's two
gotcha.
words. Okay, they're making a fifth movie. Great. Because, like I said in my original review, which I'm probably going to have to update it now my opinion has changed, that had they ended this franchise on a cliffhanger, I would have been like, fuck you. But they're making another movie. The problem with that is, they're still ending this story on a cliffhanger. So I will give them a half fuck you. Half because they're ending it on a cliffhanger, but they're doing another movie. So they get a half fuck you. Another problem is we get no Scott Speedman like we were promised by one of the producers. Fuck you, producer. We get no India Osley, even though she was introduced in the fourth movie. We're not
Yep.
getting Michael Ealy back. The only characters that are coming back from this movie are Kate Beckinsale, obviously, because we can't do a movie without her unless it's a prequel. Okay, I love Kate in these movies, I do, but if you don't need her, you don't need her.
Yeah.
Okay, like I love Kate in these movies. She's awesome, but if the story does not require her, don't use her. Or
Agreed.
pretty much, bring Speedman back if you can bring her back.
Agreed.
Fuck you, Val. Fuck you. But yeah, all we get is Kate Beckinsale, David, Theo James, obviously because Divergent's popular, of course. Because of course he's doing Divergent now, so he's popular, so we're gonna bring him back. And then we're getting Charles Dance as Thomas, the ancient vampire elder, who is also David's father.
Yeah.
Oh, so yeah,
Uh,
those are the only three people coming back from this movie.
yeah.
And sometimes he's gonna be a brand new storyline. Oh my god.
Yeah, but there's also other questions. Like, what happened to his daughter? Like,
Where's the daughter? Where's Michael? What happened to Detective Sebastian?
good question.
Oh,
Yeah. All questions this movie, in my opinion, was what again? All the questions for the franchise that we never got answered.
so yeah,
And
okay. Like I said about going into episode 7, and this will be the last episode 7 comparison I make. So I
Better
don't
be.
want to drop anymore. But like I said, going into episode 7, I was very mixed about that movie. Same with Underworld 5. Very mixed upon it. I hope it's good. I hope they don't fuck this one up too.
agreed.
But if they fuck it up, then at least I have the original trilogy.
Agreed.
And I
Alright,
have in mind to do what Parker did and smash this movie.
Do it!
not now. Later.
I wasn't even, I said I have half a mind.
Yeah.
Because,
Anyway, anyway, what tell my particular franchise? I'm worried about Animal 5 too because I'm afraid they're gonna fuck it up again, which No, no,
And I doubt even Len's a part of it.
he's not.
I said I doubt. Let me look it up. But go on while I look this up.
Like I'm worried about the final two because I'm afraid that they're gonna fuck it up again, and I'm gonna wait before and they're a horrible cliffhanger that makes no sense. And that movie felt more of a pilot to a TV show.
Oh, Len's one of the producers.
That's good news.
Then how do you explain this movie then?
Wait, should we do that movie? Fuck. Must have been studio at the time to do
Len's the
it.
producer, none of these, of these two movies.
Damn it! Should have known. Well, then, and I think it did it for. I didn't want studio interference.
Oh, and look, and get this. The fifth movie has a completely different writer.
Who's running it?
Tony Goodman.
What do you write?
I don't know. Wikipedia doesn't have a link to him, so I can't really find out.
Wikipedia is useless. Try an article.
Well, so
Anyway, wait. There's one thing I do. There's one idea I did hear about that came out from Facebook. Underworld getting a TV show. I did heard about that.
Yay.
Any thoughts?
Not really.
It's on Netflix.
Oh, this is going to be Underworld's going to be the third movie he's written.
Third movie, or the first and second movie you watched?
Priest and the Last Witch Hunter.
Oh god, I hate Priest. That movie was bad. Watch Witch Hunter. I heard that 50-50. I don't know. Okay, I'll give my problem with the feature franchise. The franchise, it looks like, how can I say this? I'm worried about the franchise. I'm worried about it's gonna be much worse, but hopefully I'm wrong, and hopefully the franchise recover. And if the movie sucks, we'll probably do a spoiler review on Underworld 5.
Yeah, in probably November or something.
Yeah, whenever that movie comes out.
Comes out in October.
Yeah, fuck. Oh goody, that could be fun. Fuck your
I want to
studio.
say something quick.
What?
I'm wearing Darth Maul underpants and Kylo Ren socks.
You don't need to say that.
Okay, we already know you're a big Star Wars nerd. You didn't need to tell us what you're wearing.
Yeah, too much information.
Oh yeah, Kylo Ren socks. Beat it.
Enough.
I'm a man-child.
Fucker. You know what? I'm not gonna say it.
What, you think I'm weird?
No, of course not. You're my
We
friend.
don't want to hear what you're wearing.
Hey man, I thought I would say it. I mean, I don't know.
Anyway,
Yeah.
we're gonna wrap this up.
Yeah.
Anyways,
You know what the sad thing was?
what?
I used to like this movie a lot. I used to hold it to the same regard as the first three. But I started thinking about it later on in life, and I realized it's a piece of shit.
Yep. You and me both. Actually, no, after two, I was pissed off after starting with Peter. I'm still pissed off.
No, I'm saying I used to like this a lot probably because of my nostalgia for the first three movies. But then I watched it in a marathon with the first three, and that's when I realized it was a turd.
Yep. That's why I'm in theaters. I was pissed off after I walked out. I was mad.
So pretty much this way. I'm like Parker when he saw the Amazing movies. Big nostalgia fest, and later realized that it was crap.
Oh, yeah. I was actually gonna say something, but I'll let you guys have it be a surprise, hopefully.
Alright. I didn't really love everything else. Like, my Valentine movie sucked and don't see it, and if you find out, please don't fuck this up. Alright, that's my thoughts.
For right now, those who like the Underworld movies, stick with the first three.
Agreed. Like, stick
And
the first three, avoid the...
as Tevi would say, avoid this like the plague.
Agreed. Get it? Plague? But, like, whatever.
Anyway.
It's a
I
bad
was
joke.
gonna say avoid it like cancer, but you can't
true.
avoid cancer. Anyone can get cancer, which is kind of scary.
Yeah, avoid it like the plague.
Yeah.
That makes more
That's
sense.
much more better. Because cancer is a very, very controversial subject.
Yeah, fuck cancer.
agreed. Like, anyways, so, anyways,
And I think I'll watch it with the with the filmmaker's commentary just to hear some of their bullshit explanations.
yeah, like that'll be a fun at the comedy to do eventually.
I know, right?
Yeah. Anyways, that's our thoughts on the Underworld movie franchise as a whole. Um, I like to thank my guests, Sean,
Or
for
bye.
for joining us, for joining me, in the Underworld movie discussion, and Parker for joining in. Wait, minute. Wait, last minute.
Yeah, cameo in last thing, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. And
Yeah.
stay tuned for our next discussion on uh something. Anyway, until smoker.
See you later, man.
Oh
Guys.
wait. I think we got before where can we find you guys?
Oh yeah. You can find me on YouTube. Type in Parker Smykle, SMYKLE, and all the links like Facebook, Twitter, and Google Plus are on the channel. So yeah.
You guys
Okay.
can find me on YouTube, Vader200591. Same with me, Facebook, Twitter, on Google on there as well.
Yep. And you can find me on my YouTube channel, Tevin Spelker, and you can find me on my Google Plus, whatever that is, and so on and so forth. Anyways, thank you for joining the discussion, and stay tuned for our next discussion on something. Bye.
Bye. Bye.